What is going on, everyone, and welcome to Kart 6T3. My name is Ben. Thank you very much for stopping by. Real quick, if you didn't mind hitting a like on the video, possibly subscribing to the channel, that would be fantastic. If you're new here, that is. I mean, if you've been here, you probably don't need to subscribe because you're probably already subscribed. But anyway, if you're new here, yeah, do that. Is the lighting any better? I'm really kind of struggling with this room. It's great to be out of the cold. The barn, I'm a little more in my element, obviously. You know, when I'm in the garage, I'm around my cart, I'm around my tools, I'm around my, I feel inspired by racing when I'm outside, but I also hate the cold. So obviously, New York is a terrible place to live during the winter. Anyway, tire brand contingencies. When I bring up open tire versus tire rules, people have mentioned here and there about, what would a tire contingency actually look like from some of these brands. Okay, I actually had thought about doing a video on open tire versus tire rule, but it's going to take my brain a little more to comprehend and break up segments of where I think pros and cons are to dive into that. But like I said, a couple people have brought this up. What if there were tire contingencies, meaning incentives for you to run a certain brand? Now, obviously, this comes at the hand of you would have to be an open tire series. Let's say there's Series A that runs in North Carolina. I don't know. I know that's Maxxis country. Typically, you do have Reaper coming into the fray, but what would it be like if you took a North Carolina series and then they said, hey, we are open tire, but then you had brands like Maxxis, like Vega, like Burris, like Reaper come in and say, listen, if you run our tires, if you beat the other brands, if you win the race or the highest place finisher on our brand gets X amount of dollars added to whatever purse there is, it truly would create competition in my mind. Now, the tire brands might not want this because they're, we'll say those four brands, there's going to be a loser. Say it is an open tire and all four brands are represented, possibly there's going to be less speed in one of those tires and they're not going to want that blemish on their record. They're not going to, Burris or Reaper aren't going to want to admit that Maxxis or Vega are faster at a particular track. But I think I love competition in all forms. That's probably why I'm a UAS guy. I'm a two-stroke guy. I love when two strokes beat four strokes. It's just who I am. Now, do I hate four strokes? No, of course not. I just like anything is fast. Would I run a 450? Would I run a Jawa? I have run a Jawa. It's pretty fast. But I love that competition aspect. I love pitting things. The original UFC, when it was the sumo guy against the karate guy. I love that. What form of fighting is better? As it turns out, mixed martial arts is the favorite form of fighting when you take all those things, all those facets, and combine them. Well, anyway, a little off topic there. But anyway, I love the aspect of competition, and I wish there was a series that was able to talk to the tire companies, and that could become a thing. I don't think you just there's contingencies for running this. Maybe there will be someday. Maybe Reaper will pony up and, say whatever series, it becomes open tire and then Reaper wants to prove their worth. Maybe they put, $1,000 on the line. If you can take Reaper tires and you can beat Maxxis at this whatever race, at this series race, we'll give you this amount of money. That would, really inspire people to go ahead and purchase that up. Now, it brings money into the game, and Reaper, for instance, their thing is that they are trying to keep the cost down. They want to keep the cost, they want to prove themselves. Don't get me wrong. They want to be a fast tire. They want to be as good as possible, but they want to keep the tire cost down so you invite more racers into what we do. We are no good if everybody just gets priced out of everything, and I get where they're coming from. But I know from a competition aspect, they want to beat the bigger brands, or the bigger brands that have been around, for as long as they can. So something like a contingency, something like a winning bonus would incentivize that. Now, that so many stars have to align for that actually to happen. It has to be an open tire series for that to work. You're not going to, obviously, a Maxxis sponsored series is not going to let Reaper come in and, from Maxxis point of view, what if Reaper happened to find on a compound or a tire prep or something that actually made the tire, fast enough, if not faster, to compete with Maxxis? They're not going to want to sponsor an event and then have Reaper come in and stink up the show on them. They're not going to want to do it. So you have all these butting heads, which I don't like. I like competition. I wish it was just a free for all. That's being a UAS guy. I could have gone to the Grand Nationals with whatever tire I chose. I could have showed up with Burst 55s, and if I knew what I was doing, because it takes a hard tire, I'm saying, Hunterstown takes a hard tire, it take that knowledge that you have and be able to compete there. But, monkey see, monkey do. Maxxis are the fastest. The people that know Maxxis the best, the people that are running, getting them run in, prepping them right, re-prepping them, doing all their cutting and this and that. People who know a tire are going to be fast regardless. So it's just, I'm kind of beating a dead horse because I know it's never going to be that, but I thought it was worth it enough to mention that if there was that incentive, if you pitted all the tires against, competition, it might bring the cost down a little bit, maybe. But the teams with most money are going to buy the most tires. Whatever tires are fastest, they're going to find it. And it's just the open tire versus a tire rule debate will forever go on, and you're going to have proponents on both sides. I'm an open tire guy. There are people that make complete sense in the comment section when they're talking about it, and they're like, this is why it saves you money when you're running a tire rule, and I totally agree. But I think that choosing the best tire for that surface is the best for the racer, and maybe you don't need as many sets of a tire that maybe works a little better at that surface. Anyway, we're getting nowhere with this discussion. Everybody has really good ideas, and it never seems to really come in and lock itself down. Anyway, I really appreciate you guys coming by again for another video. And I know I'm sorry for not being out in the barn more. It's cold out there, so you're going to probably have to wait on a lot of the how-tos if it involves, working on a cart, moving stuff, doing stuff, because I don't, I think my daughter, even though she doesn't live with me, she might be a little mad if I drug a go-kart up here. At least my wife would just not having that. This is, if you can see, there's pink on the walls. It's still my daughter's room. Even though she's out, it's still hers. Anyway, all right, I really do appreciate every single one of you coming by, and we'll see you next week for another video. All right, later, guys.